Hey everybody, it's the Broken Prophet here, and it is 1:20 a.m. in the morning here in Hoodoo Central in Georgia. I just want to tell you guys a little bedtime story before I turn in myself. But before I tell that story, I just want to give a word of thanks. You know, sometimes angels don't want their names known, and a lot of you watched my video earlier speaking about the hardships, that I encountered feeding the homeless down here in Atlanta. And, one of you or a couple of you felt moved to give to that movement. And I just want to tell you thank you. Your donation was received. I got it through PayPal and it was put to good use. And I will be out tomorrow, breaking, that law, breaking the law as far as feeding the homeless here in Atlanta. So thank you so much. Same thing to the young lady from last week who did the same thing, who felt that she didn't any longer need a consultation, but she wanted me to use the money she had paid for a consultation to do some good in the community while she went out deer hunting. Thank you also. And for the brother the week before that, who I got your voicemail, we texted back and forth. I was able to tell, you two, thank you. Brother, I appreciate it. Your money was also put to good use. I know a lot of you subscribe to this channel, you tune in for Hoodoo and things like that, and I promise you tomorrow we will be back doing some prosperity spell work, okay? But I just want to take this time to tell you guys thank you, and I appreciate everyone who watches my videos. And my voice is a little bit raspy because I was doing a podcast. No, I'm a little bit weary around the eyes because I've been up a long time doing a lot of driving. Because once that money comes in, I immediately go out and purchase things that are needed. Because it's easy to say, okay, the homeless people, they need food. True, they do. But also there are coats that are needed. After that donation came in, I went to Family Dollar and Dollar Tree, and I bought a lot of maxi pads. And I know a lot of you are going to snicker, right? But what you don't understand, and it's not a laughing matter, is that, there are a lot of women out on the streets right now. And, they have their monthly woman time, okay? And a lot of people don't even think about that. Like, what are they supposed to do? I know, in my ministry, I go out there, and a lot of these sisters are out there using napkins from McDonald's, or they're using their own sock that they can't afford to take off because it's very cold out there, and they're using that. So I go out there and I buy up as many maxi pads and distribute them, wherever I can. But for those of you who are donors, I want to tell you thank you. And you don't have to donate to me. You don't have to do that. I've never solicited donations. You can give to one of several organizations. And if you don't trust them, guys, then go to the dollar store, go to Goodwill, buy what you can, and distribute it yourselves. All right? It doesn't have to be through me. But for those of you who did entrust me with your donations, I do appreciate it and thank you. A lot of you wonder why this is so important to me. I want to tell you guys a story. Y'all know one of my favorite stories is pretend. This ain't pretend, right? This is a real story. Those of you who follow me through Blog Talk Radio know there was a point that I call my dark period. There was a point that even though my grandma taught me hoodoo and I learned it from my stepdad, who I call my dad, right? There was a point where I didn't practice. I didn't. I grew up, and like the generations before me, I decided that was just grandma's superstitions. It was all about finding a good job, going to a good school first, then finding a good job, and then making money. I did. I graduated college, found me a good job, and I was making money, right? Found me a woman who down here in Georgia, people don't really do the spiritual work thing out in the open like that. And, she was like, well, as long as I got Jesus, I got all I need, right? Hooked up with her, didn't practice a thing. But spiritual work was my calling. My grandma always said that, right? And so when that's your calling, they'll come out and get you. And they reached out and they touched me. All right. I lost her, lost my good job, lost everything. Built myself up. I didn't heed their call at the time. Built myself back up where I was making money. And they said, oh, you didn't hear the first time. So they reached out and touched me again. I lost everything again. Everything. Okay. And by everything, I mean, at that point, I myself was homeless. Yeah. It was hard for some of y'all to believe I was homeless. Too prideful to reach out to family and tell them that due to circumstance, I didn't have a place to stay. I didn't have anybody to stay with. Too prideful to reach out and go, I need a little bit of help. Now, I was working at the time. I was able to correct that living situation within within a week or two. But that amount of time just on the streets, living out of a vehicle, washing up in a fast food restaurant bathroom, that left a hell of an impression. That's why I'm not out here ripping people off and charging them exorbitant amounts of money, because I know, and see, it was the summertime when I was out there. It wasn't cold like it is out there now. But it left an impression. That's why I do what I do. That's why I go out to Goodwill and Dollar Tree, Family Dollar. I buy what I can. I give out as much as I can. And I could give a single good goddamn about, a city ordinance. Y'all know I also do a video podcast with Dr. Cosmic Nuwaji and Reverend Joyce. But you know what? Before then, I was out there sticking and moving, y'all. That donation came in. I immediately went out, bought what I need to buy. And I said, well, hell, they can't find me if they can't catch me. And I'm going out there. I'm passing stuff out. And homeless folks were laughing because they knew what I was doing. They knew why I didn't get out the car. I'm just handing stuff out. These folks, man, they lined up. They weren't even like fighting over it. They just knew that what I was doing and why I was doing it. And, it was like folks standing right there by my window, passing stuff back to the next, man. I'm telling y'all, like the human kindness is out there. It's out there. And, man, I doggone hit this bridge. Then that bridge. Went back through my old neighborhood, handing stuff out to the folks I knew. Went to the neighboring neighborhood who are historically at war, beefing with one another. Handing stuff out to the folks I didn't know, man, because hunger doesn't know gang lines or colors. Cold doesn't know any of that shit. I came back and I did the podcast. But anyway, I didn't really have a point to this video, guys. I just wanted to let those of you who donated know it was received, just so you weren't out there thinking that, no one knew. Because, a lady gave $100 today, and she didn't even give an email, a text or anything like that. I just wanted you to know that it was received. Luke, I'm gonna call you by name. Your donation was received. Luke, I wish I could plant you in the ground and grow a whole field of y'all. You're such a good person. Folks from last week and the week before. If I know most of you, the deer hunter and the brother I talked to, I told y'all thank you personally, but I just want to put it out there. All right. Hey, y'all, I'm a little beat, but y'all know I'll be out again in the morning breaking the law, and then I'll come in later on and do this video for y'all. But again, I'm not soliciting donations. You don't have to do it through me. Give it somewhere. It's just like my root work. I always tell you guys, you don't have to have me do your reading. You don't have to have me do your root work. Just as long as you get a reading and you get help from somewhere. All right. So the same thing, guys. I appreciate y'all. Y'all can donate anywhere. Do it yourselves. But I just wanted to be the one to come out here and tell you guys thank you. All right. Y'all have a good one. Y'all be blessed. Love you guys.